Cash Color Campus, high level of conversation on live hiphopdaily.tv, and this episode is sponsored by Atlantibus Clothing. Our Drug Lord, Atlantibus, and Return to Viper lines are all available for purchase right now, so shop at atlantibusclothing.com today. All right, man, we got family in the building today, man. Like, and if you, clearly everybody's not in the studio, but if you was in the studio, you know by the jokes that was getting thrown.
Man, everybody was comedians.
Everybody comedian tonight, man. I got my man Jay Black in the building, also known as Jabari Blackmond. I'm gonna put his whole name out there.
What's up, brother?
I mean, you put it on Instagram, so you might as well.
Yeah, I mean, my name Jabari mean the brave one, so when you say my name, that's power.
Oh, you gotta be brave to wear this hoodie. My man walked outside with the super comfortable.
Yeah, it's cold outside.
He ain't worried about Peter.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay warm.
He ain't worried about Peter.
Outside. I'm trying to stay warm.
So, but thank you, Jay, man. Jay, for coming through tonight. For those who aren't familiar, I'm actually a fan of you. You know what I'm saying? Innovative Black Station, I'm definitely a super fan of. I love Connected Dots. I think you and Kimmy, man, I need to have Kimmy on next. I mean, but you and Kimmy, for real, go back and forth, and you really, I actually say this, I'll say this openly. I've actually found out more on your show than I have on Connected Dots, and I actually have on the news sometimes.
Facts.
Yeah.
I mean, me too, and I give a lot of that credit to Kim. Like,
yeah,
it was like we kind of came together with that idea. Like, I met Kim. It was funny where I met Kim. Like, I met Kim, R.I.P. to Combat Jack. I met her at a Combat Jack show, and it was with Dungeon Family at the music room. Like, and one thing led to another, and I always wanted to do a news show for the network, and she just took it to the next level. So shout out to Kim. Even with politics, like, I learned so much about politics just from connecting the dots.
She is. We're going to get into that in a little while, man. But first we get into who you are. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know or aren't familiar with you, introduce yourself.
Jabari Blackmond, J Black, founder, CEO, employee of Innovative Black, which is a network video production company. We specialize in original content, and we do visual branding services. Like, our goal is just to create empowering content for Black people. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not afraid to, target Black people. And that's not saying that nobody else can, but me as a Black man, like, I understand our fight. Yeah. So, I try to create content to help us, empowering content for us.
And I dig that because, the perspective of Cash Color Campus is the same thing. It's not exclusionary, but it's like, I totally understand the niche. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You totally understand the niche. Like, if you go watch TV or even in cannabis, if we could still have a conversation that there's only 1% of and they'll say people of color total in this, then yeah, there probably needs to be a media outlet that targets the 1% rather than, saying try to deep dive into a bigger pool. But so many people know you mostly as a photographer and videographer. What led you to picking up the camera in the first place?
It was actually off necessity. Like, I started off Innovative Black. I had a radio show. I used to do a radio show every Sunday.
You got a radio voice. I can hear that.
A lot of people said that. Like, I used to work in the call center, and they used to say I sound like Barry White.
That's why you got the hoodie on.
Yeah, so
took it back to the 70s.
I mean, yeah. So I started off. I had a radio show, and it wasn't visual at all. Like, I used to just do it every Sunday, and people would chime in. It was for independent artists, and I would play their music, and I had like different segments, interviews. And then when I was living in Florida, I went to Full Sail. They had a film department, so I had a film guy down there, and he used to do all my interviews or whatever when I started doing the visual aspect. I moved here, and I didn't have anybody to do that. So, of course, I started off on my cell phone, bought lights and all that. I'm doing interviews just off the cell phone, like, and editing off the cell phone, and end up investing into a camera, walking around down here with a camera on my neck. I got so much business just from walking around with my camera on my neck. And me, I'm the type of person, like, I'm not gonna take your money and just give you anything. Like, so I just start studying. Like, I'm a person that studies anything that I do. So I start studying the craft, and you get on YouTube, you get in that wormhole. It's just like, oh, I can do this, and I just start learning different things, and it got me here. It got me to where I'm at.
That's what's up, man. So, it's crazy. You say you was walking around with the camera on you. That's the perfect place in Atlanta to walk around with, man. Everybody trying to book you.
The craziest part, because I was so shocked. I'm like, I know most people, like, when you want to book somebody, you want to see references. Like, I made so much money and nobody looked at what I did. Like, I'm like, nah, I got to make sure that I'm giving out quality. Like,
that's also Atlanta. Nobody ever asked a reference.
Nah, it was just like, oh, you got a camera?
Yeah, I got a video guy shoot.
this. I'm like, all right. But you know, I just wanted to make sure I was giving out quality though, because again, that's my name. You know, my company it's falling on, so I want to make sure everything was right.
Yeah, so I joke a lot, you know what I mean? I used to live in Charlotte, North Carolina. That was the only Queen City I ever heard of in my life. And then I looked up Cincinnati one time, and I was like, how y'all the Queen City, too, when there's a whole nother Queen City?
I just found that out, too.
You grew up in this Queen City, though, man. What was it like growing up in Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, man, it's cold.
Yeah.
It's cold. I mean,
It's Ohio. Yeah, it should be cold. Right?
I guess it's just like any other city. I mean, you always hear the cliche things like, oh, I couldn't make it in my, you know, a lot of people got to leave to make it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same in Cincinnati, and I just think it's more because you're just comfortable at home, and that's why it's hard. But, I mean, I enjoy growing up in Cincinnati. You know, we got good food. Yeah. Chili.
What's this food y'all talking
about?
We
got some, you know, comfort food.
Y'all got to understand, again, the live Hip Hop Daily scenario over here. When he said good food, there's been a debate for a while about what food were you talking about that's good.
I don't even think it's a debate. I think it's a lot more stubbornness. People accepting that it's good food.
That y'all known for this chili?
Yeah, three-way chili. Skyline chili is a popular thing. We got something called three ways, which is like chili, spaghetti, and cheese all in one. Conies, cheese conies, chili cheese dogs, a lot of people call it. But yeah,
I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot.
And the Bengals and the Reds.
That sounds like a lot. Well, you claim the Reds. The Bengals ain't really done nothing.
I mean, no Ohio sports team is really, or professional team is we can really rely on. Like we rely on the Buckeyes
outside the LeBron James Cavaliers,
and that was recent.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was reclaim that. Yeah, like I don't know anything else has ever happened. Like you said, other than Ohio State, claim that. Yeah. Pac-Man who, Jones? Pac-Man Jones. Yeah, he did put y'all on the map.
He put us on the map.
Pac-Man Jones couldn't stay out the news.
We got Pac-Man at the end of his career.
Pac-Man couldn't stay. That's why Pac-Man couldn't stay out the news. Yeah. You know, did you have any creative inspirations? Like I know when I was coming up, Spike Lee was it still is one of my huge inspirations. Him and Diddy, weird. But did you have any creative inspirations?
Funny thing is, like my family, like my dad's side of the family is more on the music. They more musical. Like I had my aunt, she was a singer. She used to sing like national anthems for the Reds and all that. And then of course, I mean, I feel like everybody, every kid growing up, you know, wanted to be a rapper. So of course, I used to rap. I used to, you know, think I can rap and all that.
Well, we learning some new stuff right now.
Yeah, I got it.
What was your rap name?
Lil J.
Okay.
Yeah, Lil J.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing crazy. Like
Lil J wasn't supposed to pop off.
Yeah, but I used to take the tapes and put the paper in it and, you know,
and dub over it.
Yeah.
That's you man. You almost put a little age on yourself right there. That's a throwback.
You know.
Oh, truth.
Oh yeah, I think my stepfather probably still got the tape. They still in the basement. I mean, I rapped up to college. Like
I think we all might have a secret rap tape somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about a little while ago. Shout out to a friend of mine, Elizabeth Miranda. She is now a state representative in Massachusetts. When we were 15, I know me and her did a freestyle to one of Nas's records, and I wish we could find that tape.
Yeah.
I wish we could find that tape. Y'all can hear the Mecca bars, man. Hear the Mecca bars. How'd you get down here to Atlanta?
I graduated from in Cincinnati, of course, and I moved to Columbus. And of course, I went to Ohio State. And after I left Ohio State, I moved to Florida. I was down there for a year, and when I graduated from down there, I went to school down there at Full Sail. After I graduated, I'm like, man, I got to get out of here. Because I knew it was just Disney. The only thing at Orlando, I was in Orlando, the only thing down there is Disney.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is not going to work for me. And, of course, I was interviewing people, and I was looking more to the music industry. So I'm like, let me go to Atlanta. I didn't really want to come to Atlanta, but the opportunity was here. Like, my cousin was staying here, and I had somewhere to stay.
You know what? No knock on Orlando, but I figured there was a lot more going on in Orlando. And then I went there.
It's Disney.
Yeah, it really wasn't nothing happening, man.
Yeah, it's just Disney. And it's a lot of Spanish people. I was surprised at that. I don't know why I was surprised, but yeah, it's a big Spanish community down there. But yeah, I left there and I moved up here and been here ever since. I love it here.
You love ATL as your new home, basically,
for
man.
Sure.
So, how'd you know that's a question I've been wanting to know for a minute. So, how did you go from doing your own stuff to basically being a producer up here at Live Hip Hop Daily?
Man, it's crazy. I met H. Shout out to A3C. I was at A3C. It was a cat named Jay Ronan. I'm sitting at the charging station, just charging my phone. And again, this was during the time when I was actually doing interviews. So I'm just, I'm sitting at the charging station. He like, he was basically asking, is the charge open? And I'm like, yeah. He got the charging his phone. We got the talking. I'm telling him what I do. He was like, oh, I got 2 orders. So I'm like, bam, let's set up an interview. He was like, oh, I got a spot we can go to. And it just so happened to be Live Hip Hop Daily. Like, so I pulled up. I had my lights and everything. And, my camera pulled up, did my interview. And, man, H chopped it up after that, and we here.
That's what's up. God's plan, man.
For sure.
And since then, I know you've been behind the scenes on a lot of shows up here. You've been working with all of us. What's it like working at Live Hip Hop Daily?
I enjoy it because, again, it's all aligned with what I want to do. It ain't like it's like I'm coming to a job, you feel me? It's all what I already do. It's, it's a part of what my daily life in a sense.
We don't get on your nerves, man?
I mean,
yeah, even he laughing. Like, we don't get on your nerves, man.
I mean, I'm sure we all get on each other's nerves, so you know how that go.
All right, so let's get into the crux of what we're here for, man, because I wanted to get into Innovative Black Station and connect the dots. So talk to us about Innovative Black Station. Most people would know it more for the web series, but like you say, you actually do a lot of branding. You do a lot of work for other companies, and you're a full overall production company. Mm-hmm. Speak to us about how Innovative Black came to be. And, saying some of the work that you do for other people.
Well, it's always been Innovative Black from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So Innovative Black is a network. So Connecting the Dots is a show on Innovative Black. Black On is a show on Innovative Black. Yep. Like I said, when I was doing my series, I had a series called Inside the Industry. And that was my interview series where I would interview people behind the scenes, like producers, different people like that. I don't know if you remember, but I had a show, DJ Shamore's Top 5 Countdown. So a lot of the shows, again, Innovative Black is a network, and then of course I do the production side because I got to make money. I have to have the business side. So that side is where I do visual branding for like businesses, commercials, and things like that. And it's grown from there.
Bro, that's a lot of work, man. Cause I caught on with Black Owned actually. Mm-hmm. I remember when
a lot of people caught on there.
Yeah, Black Owned was a cool show though, man, because you really introduced a lot of small businesses. You know what I mean? And you definitely gave them a platform that I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be able to get, like say through traditional media. Like AJC wasn't checking for the ice. I remember y'all went to the ice cream place, man. Right. They weren't checking for that necessarily at the time. Right. What's it like? Being able to basically break some of these brands, and is that something that you want to keep doing as far as just working with these smaller outlets, working with these smaller brands?
Yeah, I think the problem, I don't even know if it would be considered a problem, but my overall goal, like even with Black On, like I'm still shooting Black On, like we working on season 3, but I think me as a creative and me as I'm learning more things, like I'm holding back more because I want the production to be right. Like again, I'm looking to build a team. I don't want to do all this alone. Like I understand having other people, the expertise of other people is gonna make it bigger and better than what I can do by myself. But I definitely want to work with black businesses because I feel like they're lacking with their marketing and the commercial aspects and just the marketing aspect of black businesses. It's so many businesses. It's so many people with these directories out. But we still can't seem to find like, oh, I don't know where to shop for Black-owned products or different things like that. So my whole goal with Black-owned was to try to find those businesses, not only the cool businesses that looks good on camera, but the actual resources. Again, with Innovative Black, my goal is to empower our people. Like anything I'm putting out, I want you to learn from it. I want you to take something from it. And that's the goal. Like even with Black-owned, like for season 1, I was trying to find a Black-owned grocery store. I don't know if you saw the show, the Killer Mike, the thing he did on Netflix. Was it Trigger Warning?
Yeah, Trigger Warning.
But you saw how hard it was for him to, I don't know how long he did it, but it was how hard it was for him to just shop only black.
Yeah. In the city of Atlanta at that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like he can do that, but I just feel like people don't know like where these places are. And that was kind of my inspiration for Black On. Yeah. And that's still my inspiration. And that's like I said, I want to continue to work with those companies, like, because if we continue to build our own community, they're no longer going to be considered small. They're going to be on the level of
they'll just be
Kroger
business.
And Target and all these type of stores. And I just want us to get that perception. Like I feel like we got to stop using certain words, small businesses, and black people don't support black people, because that's not true. That's not true. I got a whole web series. You shop Black On, like I shop Black On. It's down there. Everybody in this room, we shop Black On, like. So I just feel like we got to use different words, and I feel like we got to show ourselves in different lights. Like, man, that's my goal.
Yeah, you know, and it's needed because, like you mentioned with Killer Mike, there's definitely places you could have went, but he highlighted a real good point. It's very hard to do. You know what I mean? It's very hard for you to just set out and say, all right, so literally, if I'm gonna go shop today, I'm gonna go shop at a black-owned grocery store, and then I'm gonna go buy clothes from a black-owned boutique, and then I'm gonna go do this. It's not out there that people would just be able to Google. Well, you should be able to Google, but it's just not out there as close to people's fingertips as they want it to be.
I think it's too spread out. Like, another reason I did the Black Owned show is because, again, I study. Us as people, our people, we like watching TV. So instead of making a list of where people got to read, like, let's just meet people where they at. Bam, I'm going to just make the content. I'm going to make it a TV show. It's going to be entertaining and educating, but let's just put it in a central location. People always on YouTube. First thing they searching, black owned or whatever. If they looking for something, they want to watch it.
Yeah.
And you know, that's I just feel like we got to meet people where they at instead of trying to change the wheel or whatever. Like, people that we watch TV. So instead of making TV or feeling like TV is a bad thing, let's just put out good content.
Speaking of good content, Connecting the Dots. Connecting the Dots is amazing content. Speak to us about Connected Dots and how you and Kim actually connected. Like, you were getting into it in the beginning, but speak to us about the whole story about how you and Kim connected in order to form Connected the Dots.
So again, yeah, I met her at Combat Jack show. I don't know if it was one of his last shows, but he was down at the music room. It was
was it Conway and then was it
No, it was Dutcher Family. It was Rico Wade, Sleepy Brown. There was one more person there on stage with him. But they was doing a live taping. I just pulled up. I was by myself. Like, this is when I kind of was new down here, so I was moving everywhere by myself. I was just pulling up the places. But I'm sitting there, and if you know Kim, she ain't quiet at all. Like, she ain't quiet at all. But I think we is either sitting next to each other or she is behind me. And we just kind of start talking. We was just having regular conversation. And I think she told me, she asked me what I was doing. I think I asked her what she do, and we one of those conversations. And I'm like, man, I'm telling her what I do. And she's like, oh, I do podcasts, or I've done podcasting before. And again, I already, like, in my mind, I got all the different type of content I wanted. And I always wanted to have a news show. So I told her, like, man, I want to do a news show. And Kim like, yeah, that'd be dope. I don't think she was just thinking this shit gonna be what it was, but she was like, yeah, that'd be dope. So I'm like, all right, let's meet. So we end up meeting we end up going to, like, Barnes & Noble. It was like a Starbucks at Barnes & Noble. We met there just to link up and kind of just put some stuff on the table. Man, we get in there. Like I say, Kim loud. Like,
yes.
Kim is not quite, she does not have an inside voice. Shout out to Kim, though. You know, I love Kim. But so we in there. She get to talking about, yeah, my dad was this. My dad was a slave. I don't know. She ain't saying no slave, but she was just saying my dad dealt with a lot of stuff. And it was just like, we was on the same page. I'm like, man, you know what? Let's start a show. Let's you know, let's put this show. She basically brought my news idea and took it to the next level. So our first show was we ended up going to, it was David Banner's. He had an album release over in Lil 5 Points. So we interviewed him. We was out there interviewing all the different people on the streets, and we kind of started from that. And then we started the podcast, and again, we just continued to build. We coming up on 4 years, and we had different ideas, and we had different hosts. Shout out to Caleb, shout out to GT, like, shout out to Dom, like, he with us now. But we've had different people. It's like we had a goal. Like, we was like, man, we want to put news out there that's in our language. Like, if you watch the news is depressing. Like, people don't like watching the news. But it's like, man, you don't want to just be in the dark and not be informed just because you don't like what these people are putting out. Again, like, I understand my people. I'm going to meet you where you at. I don't like watching the news because of that. And then nowadays, people don't even have TV. Like, everything is on demand. So it's like, man, we just going to be on social media. We going to get into this podcast world. And, you know, one thing led to another, and like I said, we had an overall goal. Like, our overall goal was to help our people, inform our people, and give our people this information. Over these years, like when we first started this show, I wasn't into politics at all. I could care less. But as I started seeing how things work, as we start having these different conversations, like I saw how important it was.
Yeah, especially locally.
Yeah, locally and even nationally, like, and we seen what this past elections just did. We just seen the one thing I learned about politics is that just from the Donald Trump era is that it was just a lack of leadership. We got to make sure we putting people that's fit to be leaders, like, in these positions. And, we got to hold these people accountable. I think a problem, and not just with black people, I think with a lot of people don't take accountability. They looking for the next person to blame. Everybody know what the solution is. If you ask people what you think we should do, they know what the solution is, but nobody wants to act on that. And I felt like with Connecting the Dots, that was my way, or with Innovative Black in general, like that was my way of acting on all the things I felt like we need to do. I don't feel like I'm a small fish in this big pond, but I just feel like if I'm gonna be here, if I'm gonna be out here putting out stuff, I'm gonna do my part, like, and that's really the whole goal with Connecting the Dots.
Bro, you're doing a great job, because I feel like one thing that aggravates me is when I hear the term fake news in lamestream media. It aggravates the hell out of me, because I feel like the news you call fake and the news you call lame that you're tired of is literally the news that you put out there.
Exactly.
Social media, you have become a news channel whether you admit it or not, and it goes back to lack of accountability. People don't like being accountable for the news they put out.
Exactly.
You put out a lot of trash every day on your timeline. You put out a lot of gossip, a lot of stuff that may or may not be true. People don't vet anything anymore. It goes back to, I remember in high school, they taught us that as a cheat code, you could skim through something. Now, you still need to read the whole book, but if you just want to get through like a quick test, you get skim. Nowadays, people just skim. You know what I'm saying? You just read the first line of something and go, and automatically you have a whole paragraph you ready to type to somebody.
And that was another thing. I'm glad you said that, because that was another thing, too, that we noticed. Facebook, you just reading them headlines, and it just, them headlines be false. Like, once you actually click on the article, it has nothing to do with that headline. Like,
bro, I remember when Gucci Mane allegedly killed somebody because they licked his ice cream cone on his face.
But that was the headline.
And I was like, if people are running with this, why would that even happen?
And they just sharing it. Like, that's the thing too. With, like I said, we wanted to dig deeper into those headlines.
Yeah.
Like, people see a headline, they just sharing it, and once people keep seeing it, they think it's true, and it's like, nah, this ain't true. It may be true, but let's do your due diligence to research what's going on for real.
Bro, that's how we got QAnon right now. That's how we got QAnon right this second,
that's I don't really know too much about that to even speak on that. So
a group of grown people who are dedicated to skimming through stuff. and never getting background information. Just dedicated to it, man. And it's nerve-wracking to me. And I really appreciate what you're doing with Connect the Dots, because I feel like we actually need more actual news channels. Like news is respectable. Like, I grew up watching 60 Minutes, and I grew up even on BET. Like, I remember news. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
news is
right.
Yeah, it's a respectable thing, man. Like, I hate when people say the word fake and all that stuff. Nothing's fake about what we do. What's fake is what you put on your own timeline, and we need to recognize that and be accountable for that. And I like that y'all are holding people even accountable when it comes to even the stories. Let's get into some of the guests you had, man. RZA Islam, Daniel Blackmond. You've had a slew of amazing guests come through the set for Connecting the Dots. What were some of your favorite interviews?
I always enjoy RZA just because it's good conversation. I mean, honestly, I enjoy, like, just when we have regular conversation.
Okay,
like, it's not even necessarily the guests. Like, I just enjoy us being able, like, it's really like an open space for us to talk. But it's not like gossip conversation. It's just like,
And that's why I stopped coming to y'all show, because I was like, yo, you be sitting out here, you be all involved with what Kim talking about. I'm like, I can't do this with y'all.
That's what we wanted, Connecting the Dots. Like, we don't want it to be to where it's like, we want everybody to feel like they're a part of it. Like, we're a community.
Yeah.
We all are dealing with this. This is real life that we're talking about. Like, we all have something to say about it. Like you say, you come up there, it's something that you can put into the conversation. Like, we've had people that don't like the news, watch the news, there's into none of that at all. But it's like, I can relate to this, so I can speak on this.
Look, I remember coming up here and end up getting on a whole other episode because me and Kim had a difference of opinion on the NFL boycott. I still don't think. I think I've never seen a boycott in my life where the employees in boycott, and that's the thing. And that's the thing. If the player's not boycotting, it's not a real boycott. And I'll never argue. You can't sell me on that story. You can't sell me on that story. I'm watching people consider themselves holding down Colin Kaepernick, having full conversations from a locker room, which you just got to check.
And he trying to get back. I never, with the Kaepernick thing, not this, I mean, I ain't knocking that man fight. I ain't saying that he was wrong. Like, I'm not saying I don't support what he do. But it's like, if you against this company, why would you want to go work for that company? I just didn't understand that. And that was my thing with him.
I was more on a Jerry Maguire thing. He Jerry Maguire, y'all. He said, everybody, let's go. And everybody left. And nobody left. Nobody left. Nobody left. You all went back and played. Even people who knelt with him, you went back and played.
I don't think the plan was all the way in place. I think that was the problem. Like, I think his intentions was good.
Yeah.
I just don't think the plan was in place. Like, and this is all my opinion. Like, even with the when he did the tryout, like, you got all that media attention. You talked about we know all this police brutality is going on, but you didn't take that opportunity to talk about none of that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I think he was just the person that he did his job. He did his job.
But again, going back to connect the dots, it's open conversations like this. Like, it's not just a blindly, everybody just supports this one side. It's not true. Like, there was definitely many different sides to that boycott. I truly supported what Cap was doing. And I was on the, like I said, I'll stick to that. I'm on the mindset of, he Jerry Maguire did and y'all didn't come. But the fans came, and I'm like, but if the fans are coming and the people still playing, there's actually no boycott. There's nothing really happening right now.
Right.
And I felt bad for him because I think that he really made a good he had the chance right there to have a to really make a difference with the NFL, but nobody wanted to walk.
Right.
You can't do nothing when you don't have guaranteed contracts too, but that's a whole nother issue with the NFL.
Right. Another thing though with connecting the dots too, like, even though we having these conversations, me and Kim, we rarely agree on a lot of stuff.
Oh, I believe it. Yo, I want to get Kim on the show because I need to understand her hatred of Jay-Z. Like, she never even explained it.
She's from the East Coast. It's like more some insider stuff, I guess.
Like, at least she literally calls me a Jehovah's Witness. I'm like, bro, I'm listening to a song.
Yeah.
I didn't say I agree with everything this man do. Anytime we play even a Jay-Z record, she goes into a thing.
But the thing about it, like, again, it's rare that we disagree, but it's always respectful conversation. Like, even we all can have different points of views in the room, but by the end of the conversation, we know it's all love. Like, and that's what we need. Like, we need those healthy conversations. Like, I'm not about to agree with everything you say. Like, my experiences is way different than yours, so I can't just be like, oh yeah, you right. That's not real.
Yeah.
That's not real. Like, we not, what's the word? Black people are not a monolith.
Yeah.
We not, we got different experiences.
And I totally appreciate it. Like, the one thing I feel like it lacks in media, in mainstream media now, is there's less actual journalists and more influencers and personalities. Like, you're watching actually personalities debate topics. You're not really watching journalists anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're just getting somebody you feel like would be great for this topic. And I be watching people just argue back and forth, and I'm like, this would aggravate me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a believer.
It's all opinions at the end of the day. Like, it's all opinions. But yeah, but I like our conversation. Again, I like the Reza. We've over the past year and a half, like, we've been tapping into a lot of the politicians, the local politics, and I always love those interviews because those are the people. These are people that's in my community. Like, if I can call you, like, man, you messing up, and it's just like I enjoy making those connections.
Without you, I wouldn't have knew who Daniel Blackmond was. And that's a big fact. Like, I didn't even know. I walked in, and Daniel Blackmond was running this past election, and I didn't know.
Runoff.
Bro, I did not know he was running until I watched y'all episode. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna vote for this man. And literally, I saw his name on the board. I was like, yo, that's connected dots.
But
right
it's a lot of people. I realized this when I went to go vote this past. The election stuff, it's all marketing. It's all marketing. Just like you say, you didn't know Daniel Blackmond.
No.
But you saw him on the ballot and you saw him on our show, and now you know who he was. And it's all marketing. Like, whoever has the best marketing is going to win. Like, people don't care about the policies because it's just like, at the end of the day, if you cared about policies, it wouldn't be a Democrat or Republican. You're going to go for the person that supports what you want.
Yeah.
Like, but people are with parties, and it's like, it's marketing at the end of the day. Like,
it's definitely marketing. It's why I feel like when you look at local politics, it's really important for you to understand who's being elected. Because, like you mentioned, you're talking about people who, if I saw a flyer and just knew your name, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
There's a good chance I'll vote for you because there'd be so many people.
That's how I go most of the time. Like, that's how I go.
And that's how you end up stuck with people for 30 years. Like, I was talking to my barber today about how one thing I wish we really could settle on as far as people overall is term limits for every single, from House of Representatives to Senate to President. Get you some term limits, because I don't understand how somebody could sit in office for 30 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like how that shouldn't even be possible.
Right. It was just somebody recently that was holding a seat in Atlanta, and they was here for like 30 years.
I was speaking
40
about
years.
John Lewis when I told her. I said, as much as I respect John Lewis, I still think that at some point you can't tell me that you were in office so long that nobody else,
Exactly.
nobody else was a
Exactly.
good enough voice to run against you. Like there's never a chance you said maybe I should step back and let a younger voice get involved. That's how you get stale in politics.
And his popularity, like one thing I learned from Daniel, what Daniel was saying, like Daniel was with the utilities. His fight was in the utility area, and he was basically saying, like the person he was running against, Georgia Power and all those big companies, they got money into this person.
Yeah.
They're funding this person. So of course that person is going to win because again, that big company is putting the marketing dollars behind this person. They're pushing that person. That's just like with us with politics. When one of our influencers get behind somebody, you know, even like with Keisha. That's cool.
Bro,
Like, you feel me?
Keisha Lance Bottoms had people who absolutely did not live in Atlanta.
But her name was Keisha. People voted for, and that's even with Obama. He was a black man. People voted for him because he was a black man.
Bro,
Like,
never forget Tyrese interrupted the whole meltdown he had on Instagram to remind us he's going to Atlanta to go support his girl Keisha Lance Bottoms. I'm like, you don't even live here. You don't even live here, dude. Like, you
that's
don't live
crazy.
here. You
That's
don't live
crazy.
here.
And it's I don't know. It's like I say. I feel like if people that when you really voting and you really look at policies,
Yeah.
like look how these people affecting you. Like I even say with Donald Trump, like I bet you could look at some of the stuff and you can agree with what he got going on. But because this message of no, I'm saying it might not be a lot of stuff, but it'd be
Yeah.
like, damn, I feel you on that. But it's a narrative push that he this, he that, and people just follow behind that.
Let me
And
tell you.
they followers like at the end of the day.
Trump is Reagan Part 2. And if you ever seen Crack yet on Netflix?
I heard about
He is Reagan Part 2. And even watching that again, I'm like, I'm trying to tell y'all he is Reagan Part
gotta
2.
watch it,
And
yeah.
you're going to wake up and you're going to get really flooded. Crack on Netflix? Bro, I've literally had people watch Crack and then DM me and say, can I buy a drug lord shirt? Like, I get it. Like, I get the concept he was trying to sell. That Ronald Reagan literally allowed a shitload of drugs to come to this community, realized what he did, and didn't know how to fix it. And then just said, fuck it. Like, that's the story. And then just said, fuck it. There ain't nothing I can do about it now. I see Trump doing the exact same thing with opioids. Like I could literally see him saying, fuck it, and just saying, I don't know what to do no more. And we have a community full of pillheads, like we already do, but we have even more.
Right, yeah.
Now, he remind me too much of Reagan. He never would have got my vote.
I mean that's true, but I'm saying like it's policies like it's policies.
He'd have to
man.
give
You
me,
gotta
like,
just vote for
amazing policy,
person
dude.
like I feel like people they like I say it might be people that support the other side. We ain't gonna even say Trump, but a person that's on the other side. But just because everybody else or their people are not voting for them, they don't want to be the outcast, so they just gonna go with everybody.
Well, you dealing with that even now with politicians. Like you just saw with the impeachment trial. Like we're watching grown people who you elected
they
playing them
yeah,
roles.
It's like they didn't pledge their allegiance to this party, so it's
Yeah.
like I can't even though the shit wrong. Like you know, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. Like at the end of the day, and that's what I feel like. That's how we gotta be. We gotta. One thing Kim always say on the show, like we need more informed voters. And again, that's one of our goals with connecting the dots. Like we gonna give you the information. Like we gonna give you the information, and we gonna mix in the entertainment stuff. Like we not just talking about. You know, we talk about what's going on, the regular stuff, like the Gorilla Glue girl. Like that ain't really news, but you feel me? That's just we still got to mix that stuff in.
No, I think that's news. We need to inform.
that's not news.
We need to
That's
inform
irrelevant.
people.
Like,
we
that's
need to inform
irrelevant.
people that
That's
if
irrelevant.
you're picking up Gorilla Glue to put in your hair, you're in the wrong aisle. Like you're in the hardware aisle. Like you should have seen like rope, and you should have seen all kind of stuff that's connected with glue. You know what I'm saying? Like you should have never ever thought that was for your hair.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ever in your life. If you walked in the aisle and picked up Gorilla Glue, you know you didn't see Neutrogena. You didn't see nothing that resembles health and beauty.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm with
inform
you,
those
But that's what I'm
people
saying.
too.
That's not news. That's just ignorance.
True,
Like,
it's ignorant. It's ignorance that lived for days, man. I was so mad at that situation because I kept thinking to myself, I've bought glue. Like I've never in my life bought glue and walked in here and thought I grabbed soap by accident or nothing like that because it's not in the same aisle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
crazy.
not in the same place.
That's crazy. I didn't know they had. And we talking about it. I didn't even know they had spray Gorilla Glue. Like that's crazy. Like
Well, you
that's
know what? I
crazy.
just learned they have spray. Like I got an air fryer now because I'm bougie. I didn't know that they had spray like butter, like spray butter, like spray canola oil and stuff like that. Olive oil.
Yeah, how you
Boy,
used to?
I was
when you start cooking.
I was 2 months years old. I was 2 months years old.
He just started cooking.
I was
off
2
the
months
air
years
fryer.
old, baby. Nah, I'm old school, man. I'll go and pour something in here. This whole house gonna smell like chicken. You know what I'm saying? I'm pouring some stuff in here. Nowadays with the air fryer, man, it's like
Yeah, I heard. I ain't really got into it yet, but I heard that's definitely the move.
Man, you gotta eat your food with a pinky up. When you start eating with an air fryer, you feel extra healthy and everything. So, innovative Black Station. What's the future for y'all?
Again, it's a network. I just want to continue to build good content.
Yeah.
Again, I got ideas in my head. We got the news show, got the entrepreneurship show. I'm looking to get into comedy. I want to give me an entertainment show. DJ Some More Top 5, that was our entertainment show. You know, that was more music based, and you know, it talked about the gossip and all that type stuff. But I want to get a comedy show. I want to get a game show, you know, some family feud type stuff. Like,
Yo, bro, like I got to interrupt you and give you your flowers now. Because people often, especially in cannabis, they'll say certain things. Like they'll be like, "Yo, Mac, you like the BET of cannabis." The more I listen to you speak, you're like the new BET on a lot of levels. You're literally producing not just your shows, but you have like a wide range of content that would really resonate with a large group of people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you are that actually at this point.
I mean, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I did look up to BT. I really like when I first started all this. I looked up to. Well, I still look up to HBO. I love their formula, like just from the beginning. And it's just like HBO blew up off one thing. Like they blew up from Thriller in Manila, the Ali fight. And it's just like, man, it's just really that simple. I know we putting out quality content, good content. Like our intentions, our why is there. It's just about getting that big fish, I guess I would say.
Well, bro, you inspiring me because I definitely want to get on that level. You see, I was talking to you a little while ago about.
Let me cut you off. You dope, like, bro, like for you, like I've seen the growth of this whole show. Like for you to have sponsors now, and even to the merch, like this show is dope. Like even in your lane, like you with the cannabis lane, like you touching avenues or interviewing people and bringing people on, like, and it's like, these are these different influencers. Like it's different. Like I respect what you got going on as well.
I appreciate that.
Nah, for real.
You know, thank you.
For real. And you got, the Mecca Presents. You on your, what is it? The
Cash Color Campus Presents, man. Yeah. That's what I was about to say, bro. I remember talking to you about it, and yeah, like we got the same vibe. Like I really want to have something that's like a network, and I feel like I'm leaving that on the ground at this point. Like we should be building out and really should be curating new voices and new talent. Like that should be the next lane.
I really think that's just really the wave. Like, and it's. Nobody can get it. It's like nobody will get it nobody way. Even with Live Hip Hop Daily. Live Hip Hop Daily is a network, but it's a podcast network. That's not affecting nothing that I'm doing. Like you got a network, a cannabis network. Like it's not. We all have our interests. Yeah. You go on TV, you can watch a whole bunch of different channels. Yeah. That's all we doing. Like we building our own channels, and I feel like we got to look at ourselves on that level. Like we can't compare ourselves to these companies, the ABCs and all that, and get discouraged because these companies been around for 40, 50 years. Like, they got a 40 and 50-year head start on us. Let's just build what we can. And, what my man Nip say, it's a marathon. Like, let's just stay with the race. Continue to add content. Like, continue to add content.
Well, bro, I'm a huge fan. I think what you're doing is amazing, especially with Connect the Dots. Connect the Dots is extremely needed right now in this world. Keep doing that. Shout to Kim. Kim, I'm going to have you on here. We're going to discuss this whole Jay-Z hatred one day. I'll play therapist, and we're going to get to the crux of this problem you got with Hova. So before we get out of here, let people know how they could find more out about Innovative Black, how they could find out more about Connect the Dots, how they can actually get involved with the show as far as subscribing or even being a guest.
Well, you can go to our website, www.innovativeBlackStation.com. Connecting the Dots is CTD_ATL. And we like to, like I say, this is a show for the community. So we encourage people to send stories, send things, comment on the page. Come up and kick it with us. Like, come up and join the conversation. Like, this is an open platform.
come ready for an argument, because Kim going to...
It's healthy arguments. Like, it's healthy arguments. You just got to get it out. You feel me? Yeah. You might be going through something. Let me go yell. Let me go to the show and just get this. Let me yell to get this out.
Yeah, like, that's why I stopped coming, bro. I'm trying to tell you, I stopped coming. I was like, I'm going to sit here and be arguing with Kim every week. I'm not going to do this every Sunday.
Yeah, and Innovative Black Station as well is one of our handles.
All right, bro. Well, I'm a super supporter, man. I appreciate you coming through and finally telling us the story of Jay Black and how all this happened. Thank you for bringing that hoodie. It was amazing.
I appreciate it.
Amazing for bringing that on tonight, man. Yeah. So, my dog, I appreciate you. I mean, anything I could do to help support, I'm definitely there. If you ever need me to be a
Likewise.
guest, if you ever just want me, if I can just pull up one day and maybe shut my mouth and not let Kim aggravate me.
I mean, you welcome every Sunday. We there every Sunday. Anybody that want to come, we here at the Live Hop Daily Studios every Sunday at 1 p.m. Like I say, just hit the page, man. Hit the page, DM us, let us know you want to come up and shoot, let's come talk. Let's come talk. Let's
Bro.
come talk.
And I appreciate you coming. Definitely support Connect the Dots when y'all get a chance, as well as support Cash Color Campus Podcast, a high level of conversation on livehiphopdaily.tv. We out.